The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Find us on the web at mbradio.com.
Age is in the building now.
Let's go! Strap in, this one's for the fighter! I took the oath. 20 years I gave my soul. Sandstorms, fire, a roadside blast. Everything I knew shattered fast.
You haven't seen nothing yet. Woo! Woo!
Drowning in turmoil, 15 meds, mine in a haze. Living felt like a permanent dead. Still standing, scarred and proud. Crushed by war, but I won't stay down. Voice of the broken, thunder in my chest with freedom fighters rising from the wreck. Parents pulled me from the edge of night, pushed me forward back into the light. Ski boots on, carving through pain. Found my fire on that frozen terrain. Said I was too old to beat to race, so I trained like hell, put them in their place. From slurred words to a podium stand, yeah, I'm racing with lightning in my hand. Still standing, scarred and proud. Crushed by war, but I won't stay down. From Kokomo to Olympic slopes, we're the freedom fighters born to cope. Now I take the mic, not a rifle. Broadcast truth, yeah, that's survival. Paralyzed, but still I lead. With every word we plant a seed. Still standing, warriors loud. Can't break us, we screaming proud. Not wounded, we're on the attack. Freedom fighters, and we're taking it back. Freedom fighters, yeah, yeah. Keep rising.
Freedom Fighters.
Welcome, everybody. Happy Thursday. Instead of Throwback Thursday, we're talking about backing that ass up Thursday. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the H Train Show right here on the station that's letting our veterans be heard, MBR. And boy, do we have a good show for you today. My beautiful co-host once again showing up. MJ, thank you so much for we missed you last week.
I'm so sorry about that. Sometimes when you have to roll stones, you just gotta roll stones. If anybody doesn't know what that means, I had kidney stones.
Oh man, and it's funny because like I remember one time we had this veteran I was deployed with. His name was Sergeant Foster, Bradley Foster, and we gave him shit all the time about it, but I tell you what, in Iraq, he was passing a kidney stone while we were on assignment. So he was outside the wire. He was still passing a kidney stone, and we were still making a presence on Blue Babe Highway. And we gave him shit, but I tell you what. He was one tough son of a bitch. Let me tell you,
He
was one tough son of a bitch. And now, and that opens us into a great segue for the mail call this week, because now if he was a part of 82nd Engineers out of Bamberg Military Army, this gentleman. I'm spotlighting him because not once, not twice, but many times, he saved my goose, not only in combat but in garrison. And he got in a motorcycle accident on 9/7, and I just want to spotlight him, and give a moment of like silence prayer for him as well. Ladies and gentlemen, this week's mail call.
Nixon!
Attention mail call.
Hartman! Nixon! Bermudez! Hartman! Hartman! Here's what we do.
I muted myself. With that being said, to make a very long story short, Brandon Malm, after I knew him when I left, he was Sergeant Malm. He's currently intubated and induced coma as of 9/16. He did have surgery on both his collarbone and left scapula. That went well. The only reason why I'm bringing this up, and I don't want this to be like a memory or whatever, but if you are, I don't care what God I don't care what God you pray to. Keep my battle buddy in your thoughts. He's had a very tough 10 years, dealing with deaths, dealing with wife dying of cancer, got remarried. He was a hell of a guy. He would do anything, give the shirt off of his back. Let's just just do me a favor. It don't matter if you like me or not, but when it comes to Brandon Malm, if you could say a prayer for him, with him and his wife, I would really appreciate it. That's the only thing that I ask. So I just wanted to bring that up because too many times I feel that we don't really promote other veterans or our battle buddies. I see a lot more, a lot less applause than I do applause, and we need to do that because there's sometimes we had a friend, we won't mention names, but we had a mutual friend this week that even you reached out, MJ. You're like, hey, I saw this post, and I literally called him and I'm like, hey, I saw your post. I need you to know that I need you. Yeah. I need you. Your words, your music, it speaks to me. I'm sure I'm not the only one it speaks to. I need you. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you feel. I'm letting you know that I need you. And I know that there's more people that feel the same way. Absolutely. So make sure you reach out to your battle buddy. Let them know that you do care.
Yeah. That's
okay.
Nice. I tell everybody, take every single person, every single day, value one person, validate, honor, respect. Even if you don't like that person, say thank you because they brought the catalyst for you to either learn the lesson or for you to act higher than that person to cause a balance or alignment in society. So move higher, take the higher ground, and everything always works out. Thank them very much, say sorry for your part, and move on. And it is, let me tell you, it's rewarding. It is so rewarding when you do that. And so that way, if somebody who is in your realm does pass, you've affirmed, you validated, and you loved from every moment, and you understood why they were there. That's what I do.
Most definitely. And so like when we come back from break, we'll have the What The segment. But I gotta tell you, There's so much stuff that has happened this week. And 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 me and MJ aren't immune to it. Everybody has struggles in their life. And one thing that we do is we not only have struggles, but we kind of push those struggles aside and we show prep. We get ready for this show. And it's our hope that sorry about that. It's our hope that we when we do these shows, not only are we amplifying veteran voices and veteran businesses and just veteran resources, but we kind of we don't want to depress you, but we want to make you think. I will before I play before we go on break, let me ask you a question, MJ.
Oh, keep it simple.
How's your week? Is the stones gone?
Well, let's just say number 74 passed out, and
Okay.
we rolled that one out, but we still got garbage inside those kidneys, and it's just it's a pattern of being autoimmune. Brought to you by the United States Air Force.
Hey, everybody, we do have a fantastic show. One of my good friends, she's been my friend for a long time.
I'm excited.
She's super busy. I've been trying to get her on my show for a couple of years. I finally got her to say, hell yeah, let's do this. Usually she charges to go on people's shows or speak or anything. She has her resume is longer than my credit report. That's kind of sad, but anyways, she's done everything. She has climbed Mount. How do you pronounce Kilimanjaro? Yeah, I can't pronounce that shit.
Kilimanjaro.
Yeah, I can't pronounce that shit. So she's
kill you, man, kill you.
She's climbed that. She's been a part of 2 militaries. It wasn't the Israel War that I thought it was. It was the Lithuania War, or Lithuanian Army, and the U.S. Army. We might pick her brain on, how does that work, kind of thing. That would be awesome if I was retired U.S. Army and I was retired Australian Army. That would be neat.
Yeah, sure it would.
But how would that work,
Not speaking the language, it wouldn't work. And this lady, she speaks all of it.
Oh, my God. She's amazing.
Okay, I asked Joel, I go, wait, does she speak English? Because that's the only English I know. That's the only one I know.
And, hey, some people are tuning in, liking. I see it, and I just want to let you know, I really appreciate you guys supporting me and MJ all the time. Red Skeleton, we talked about him last week, how we were so sorry that he had a death in the family, his mother-in-law. Our hearts and prayers are still with him and his family for that. I don't know how the hell he's going to make it through the cruise that we go in November, because, you name it, he's gotten hit with it for the last 6 months. Like, you talk about bad juju,
No, that's good juju.
Storms. Yeah.
Turn that, twist it.
Yeah. He's doing amazing things, and he's still getting hit with juju. Bulletproof America, Ace out there. I do want to say, Ace, congratulations. She is a nonprofit. So I tell you what, somebody that has another resume that's bigger than my damn credit report is Ace. She's done special ops and everything you can think of. Make sure that you like her social media. Check out her show. A lot of good information, a lot of good interviews. And then, of course, Z, thanks for checking in. Z is he's very full. He's very busy, but he's been trying his best to accomplish the video game thing that we got going on.
Nice.
Yeah, the gamer thing. we spent all that effort on doing the gaming thing, and we just don't have that many gamers. So I appreciate you tuning in, man. I really do. Well, before we go on break, let's hit the what events do you have going on in your neck of the woods, MJ, that you'd like to share with us?
Busy upcoming weeks here. This is in this area is our harvesting. So there's a lot of harvest events going on that are near and dear to all of us. Tomorrow starts the big Bloomsburg Fair. It is a whole week long. That's in Bloomsburg, and that starts tomorrow. And my boy Ricky K, he is going to be there playing on Thursday. I believe Thursday is Veterans Day. Wednesday or Thursday, I got to check my schedule. But one of those is Veterans Day. We had an interview last year. He's going to be, we're going to have him up on SteamYard as well to give you a little information. And then in this area of the corner of where I live, it is story time with apples, and tomorrow at 10 a.m. with the Spalding Library in Athens. I know. And then we have a quick yoga in the park, nearing yoga and fitness in Athens as well, Sunday at 10 a.m. Get your mats out. And then we have White Sox Fall Festival and Halloween for the Hunger Food Drive in the area. That is Saturday at 12 p.m. And if you like Demolition Derby, baby, Burlington Motor Park, here we go. BMP Demo Derby Day. That's Saturday. That starts at 3 p.m. And then we have the 8th annual Cornhole Tournament. Cornhole. That's in Athens, Pennsylvania. That starts at 12:30 on Saturday. And that is at 110 North Street in Athens. You can go there. Special topics of the Marine Corps history of Sergeant Reckless. It's today at 6 p.m. That is in Troy off of Route 6 in Pennsylvania. So look for Reckless during the Marine Corps history. And Sergeant Reckless will be talked about. If you don't know who that is, you got to go. Next thing you got is on September 21st, Saturday, Sunday, Burlington Motor Park final race points right after the Derby. You're getting the motocrossers going on. Tomorrow is Treasures at the Trunk ribbon cutting. Got a new one coming in, and that's in Athens, and that's be tomorrow, 11 a.m. And then you have your first annual pizza poker tournament. That is Sunday at 1 p.m. That is in North Towanda at 830 Summit Road in Towanda. Man, it is going to be a busy weekend, a busy week at the Bloomsburg Fair. I'm going to get you some snippets when I'm down there. I'm heading down there after the show today to try to get myself set up. And man, it's going to be loving you too there, my friend Red. Hang in there, soldier. So, yeah, that's what's going on here. Busy. Oh, you know what? I forgot my own self. So I'm going down there tonight. Tomorrow I'll be back up here like a yo-yo. And tomorrow night we got our Chakra 4 class right here at the Mojazi Center. Saturday morning we have Pendulum 1 or Dowser 1, so you can understand the 12 movements of a dowser and understand what they mean. That starts at 10 o'clock. And then we have our monthly New Moon Reiki Fire Circle, and that is an energy circle, and that starts at 7 p.m. And then at 7:30 p.m. we have our lookup program all up here at Mojazi Center, and that starts at 7:30. You have a list of things you have to bring. It's a photography camera club called Lookup. And Ozzy Gonzalez, my husband, he actually starts that. So he'll teach you how to use your ASOs and your APs and everything else so that you can do star trails and sunsets. They'll do meteors because there's meteors still out there. And of course, we'll do the Milky Way. That is on the Lookup program. And that's all here at the Mojazi Center.
Woo! Man, I like that.
I should be an auctioneer.
I'm telling you, hey, have you ever seen how much money those auctioneers make?
No, I just love their voices.
Oh my God, they make a lot of money.
I have a friend who's an auction.
If you're good, they make a lot of money. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
If you're good, they make a lot of money. All right, here we go. Here's my events. Here's the trending news here in Colorado and the events, and then we'll go on break. Well, we probably should go on break now because it's like past time that. So with that being said, when we come back, we're going to be hitting the What's a Segment, okay? talking about trending news here in Colorado, and we'll talk about the free events for this weekend in Colorado. And I'm sure MJ has some trending news in her neck of the woods as always. So, if you didn't know already, you're listening to the show that highlights all the nonprofit programs out there beyond the VA. You're listening to the Age Change Show on the only station that's letting our veterans' voices be heard and beyond.
I pledge my allegiance to her, from sea to shining sea. She held her torch to the sky to give the world liberty. What about us? What about we? What about living the American dream? What about love? In God we trust. These are the things they want us all to believe. What about us? What about we, the people? What about us? What about we, the people? The people walk through the streets, holding up protest signs. Try not to repeat our history. Maybe no one will have to die. What about us? What about we? What about living the American dream? And what about hope? Trust God, let go. These are the phrases they want us to believe. What about us? What about we, the people? What about us? What about we, the people? And right now we need a hero, someone who will stand and fight for us. A leader, someone we all know, to wear the shield of America. Oh, what about we, the people? What about us? What about we, the people? What about us? What about us? What about the people? What about us? What about us? What about the people? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What about we, the people? What about us? What about us? What about us? What about?
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Find us on the web at unmatched.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Back That Ass Up Thursday. I'm sorry,
And it is back your ass, because guess what we forgot, Joel? The most important news of the day.
What's the most important news of the day?
Aim high, my Air Force people. You are happy birthday, 1947.
Oh, shit.
Stand
Oh,
up.
shit.
Stand up. Give yourself applause. Come on. Come on, Air Force.
You know, if I'm not mistaken, when I was looking at Brandon's pictures and stuff on Facebook, like I didn't know that he was Air Force. He was Air Force and he was Army. He had an Air Force uniform. That's badass when you can do that. Like I was telling you earlier, you know, if I could be in the Australian Army and the U.S. Army, like both retired off of, man, I feel like I'm a badass. But ladies and gentlemen, it is the what the moment, and we don't have a video, so we're just gonna talk about it. Okay.
That's right. There's one of our Air Force buddies, and he's
There
an
we
Air
go.
Force just like me.
Ladies and gentlemen, our new what the moment.
What the segment?
Come on, man.
All right, so
Speaker.
I know. MJ's getting tired of these ducks. She's like,
Oh,
God.
yeah. Finally he got a heart, and he's my heart. And mine's tie-dye, so I like him now.
You know, the so Sunday, it's not really a what the it's more like a kind of like a praise report, okay?
Okay.
But I don't wanna play the video just for the simple fact that I don't know how the parents were, you know, when it comes to kids, you know, putting them on video or putting on picture, you know, people get kind of weird about that. So I'm just gonna bring this up. So this week, my wife turned 41. She turned 41, and you know, my wife was never military, you know, and she don't know anything about the military. You can tell when somebody doesn't know anything about the military when you tell them something's going on and how it works, and they look at you and they're like, well, that's dumb, you know.
How about the light in the headlight?
Right, exactly. You know, but she made these coloring books. And these coloring books, they're not just coloring books. They're these coloring books. They're here to not only kind of help bring the veteran and the children together, because you know I told you the story. I don't know if I've told everybody the story, but you know I have a friend that you know his wife died recently. Well, not recently, but about a year ago. I'd still say that's recently. She died of a year ago of cancer, you know, and with him dealing with that, dealing with, you know, coming back from deployment, even though, you know, he came back in like 2010 or 2011 timeframe, you know, he still has to deal with, you know, being a father, you know, on top of dealing with the pain inside your head, dealing with his wife dying. And you know, I remember talking to this kid, and this kid was like, well, I just don't know what to do. You know, I'm trying to reconnect with my father. Sometimes it's a little hard, you know.
Right.
And they were doing like games and stuff like that. But the coloring book is nice because not only can you sit there and color with your kids and talk to them how their day went, how their school went and stuff, but like you can read on the booklet on tips on how to navigate through the VA, how to navigate home loan, you know, just little tips, you know, it's not big, huge tips. It's just little tips. And it's good to know those tips, especially when you're in that situation. You know, when you go to that CMP or whatever they call it, whenever you go to that CMP, they're not your friends, people. They are not your friends. They're trying to get you, catch you in a lie, okay? But you know, if you tell them the truth, if you tell them, hey, look, from the recliner to the bathroom, this is what I deal with. That's what you have to focus on. You have to, the more descriptive you are about the pain and stuff, and the more conclusive you are on this is where this happened. You know, don't just tell them, oh, you know, I got bad knees because of rec marching. And no, tell them directly, hey, look, you know, and just they're not going to look at dates and shit. Just make up a date. Hey, on this date, we were rec marching from this place to this place, and I heard my knee pop. And ever since then, now my kneecap, you can make circle circle emotions with it, kind of like in that movie Mr. Deeds. Hey, you know what's going wrong right here? Make descriptive writings so that when you go in CP, they know that you mean business. They know that you're trying to get help. You're trying to get fixed, but they're not your friends. Don't they're not going to help you. Okay, they're just gonna say, oh, okay, all right, yeah, okay, he's got information, regarding when this happened. He knows when it happened, he knows how it happened, and this is the process. So not really a what the moment, but just wanted to bring that up so that other people kind of get that. Now, when we play this next segment, the drop the mic, I want everybody to keen in to this. We're not talking about the political part of this. We're talking about this, and this is number one. I'm telling you. Whenever you're upset about something when it comes to politics, don't text or don't send a message to somebody else about it, because 9 times out of 10, they don't want to hear about it. They don't, because whatever you put on social media or your opinion or anything, it's not like they're going to have a news press of it at the White House. Oh, just in MJ or H says this, this is the law. That's not going to happen. All right. You're just going to aggravate people, because you're disturbing their peace by trying to heal your peace, if that makes sense. But the main thing reason why I want to play this video, just remember that opinions causes diversity. It doesn't cause unity.
Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm not gonna do what you all think I'm gonna do, which is just flip out. I'm out of here. Y'all take care. Let's go.
We are in Hollywood outside of the El Capitan Entertainment Center, where Jimmy Kimmel has been pulled from the air indefinitely. We've actually been talking to a number of people who were standing in line the moment they were told the taping was canceled for the day.
There's no explanation at all. They just came out, they told us, we're really sorry guys, sorry for the inconvenience. I'm just gonna have to ask everyone to leave. And there was no explanation, like we were keep asking each other. And we didn't know what was going on.
They weren't being told specifics about the situation, just that their ticket would be valid for another year and that they were apologizing for the inconvenience.
All right, and the reason why I want to play that clip is because, ladies and gentlemen, I hate to tell you this, if you haven't learned this already, let me make this real bold statement. Freedom of speech is meant for, like, the government. It's not meant for individuals. It's not meant for people. And whenever you point out your opinion on social media, it's never going to cause unity. It's not going to form unity. It's always going to cause diversity, because nobody feels or thinks the same way as you do. No matter how like right now, I'm on a soap dish, and I can tell you that what I say, I'm sure somebody disagrees with it. It's still my opinion, but just know that nobody wins with politics. Nobody wins. Nobody's going to fully agree with you.
If I may,
yes.
I'm not so sure. I understand that if you are a right winger, Kimball, whatever,
I don't know.
is not your friend. However, politics is not the reason that he's not on the air. The reason they're not on the air, and the reason people are getting fired, and people are claiming the freedom of speech. My take, I want my take to be clear, because I think that as a whole, not just the United States, as the world, if you are laughing, mocking, or are callous about a death of a human,
Yeah.
there is something severely wrong with your morals. Severely wrong. God never, and everybody's God is the same God. God, however God taught into you, that's you. However, God has never, in every 12 things that I have ever studied, it is all the same. Thou shalt not kill for no reason. No man's flesh is another man's reward of hunting. And that is why, because he had the insensibility. This is the same reason where everybody is getting fired from their position, because they're maintaining that your soul has no regard for the living. And that is not politics. That is morals of humanity. So that's my take on Mr. Kimmel. And I also know that the next, I can't remember the date. I should have remembered it, but it is a tribute. He got fired because of speaking about Charlie Kirk's death and laughing within. If you didn't see the show, he was immediately dismissed after that show. And they refused, and they have no idea. But they do know that the very next thing that's going to be airing is a tribute to Charlie Kirk, because he works for what's the company? ABC, NBC? I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't been keeping track of it,
ABC. But anyway, long of the short, ABC, who is over him, right? Now the management has to make a decision because you just made us look bad.
Well, hell, Howard Stern, they just let him go too. This is what I don't get. Why can't we go back to hating each other for NFL football teams instead of politics? We used to get upset with people. Oh, you like the New England Patriots, or you like the Donkeys,
Spirit. You want the sports spirit back.
I want the sports spirit back.
Hate.
I want the sports spirit back. I want people to take pictures of their food and post it on Facebook walls anymore instead of politics. And I remember seeing these memes all the time. I'm sorry that you want to see a picture of my food. Unfortunately, I care about this country. I love your passion. I love that you care about this country, but whatever you post on social media isn't going to change anybody's mind, and it's not going to unify everybody. Okay, it's just not going to. And I think that's the reason why people post stuff sometimes on social media, because they think it's going to go viral. That one thing or that one statement is going to bring everybody together. But you know what? Everybody, you know what brings everybody together? What brings everybody together is when you you empower other veterans. You empower other veterans to do other things for veterans. That's what brings everybody together. I tell you, when I die, the one thing that I hope and that I pray is that one thing that everybody can say when I die is, you know what? He had a couple of screws loose, yes, but he was always nice to people. He was always nice to people, and he always cared for people, and he always tried to put people before him. That's what I want to be known for. I want to be known for trying to make an impact. I don't care about, being on cover of a magazine or doing interviews or doing anything of that nature. I want to touch lives. I want to impact people. I want other veterans to empower other veterans. And you know what? I see it every single day on this station. We might be a Wayne's World station. People are like, "Oh, you ain't really a radio station." You know what? We're a radio station. We're a radio station that pushes out the power of positivity.
Thank you.
That's what we're trying to do here. And if you push out positivity, karma, it's going to come back to you one way or another. And we've seen it. We have 45 shows on this network now. 45 shows, 31 active because it's football season. We all know that some shows take a break during football season. Some shows don't, some shows do. That's no problem. But like, we have 5 shows that are coming just this week. You know, Trucker Mount's coming back. We have, it's crawl. I think it's crawl, walk, or crawl, run, and walk. I forget the name of it. It's Steve-O's show. He's a brand new host here at MBR. He's getting ready to come on. The IIO Life, they're getting ready to come on. People, we have new shows coming. We have like 5 new shows coming next week. So be alert, be alive, watch for them. I'm sure that I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but if you get something off of my show, that's all that we can ask for. Before we go on our top of the hour break, and we talk to my friend Sandra, which I'm super excited. I want to let you guys know about some trending news that's happening in Colorado. So there's a drone study to protect livestock from wolves. Colorado wildlife officials have kicked off a giant-funded multi-year study to see if drones can deter gray wolves from attacking cattle. I've told you this before. I don't think we're ever going to have boots on the ground ever again. I think that the Army is going to be replaced with drones. Drones is a new technology. Drones is pretty much, I think we're going to be using drones for everything. Hell, they use drones to ship Walmart stuff. Yeah, we're gonna take a break here momentarily. Also, controversy here in Colorado over proposed Buc-ee's in Palmer Lake.
Buc-ee's.
I love that place. It's so overpriced gas station food, but I love that place.
No, but your gas is cheaper. You can afford it. It's 10 cents cheaper than anybody locally.
State leaders, including Government Paulus and Senators Bennett, Hickenlooper, are urging Buc-ee's to reconsider locating a new travel center in Palmer Lake. The site is near a historical castle ranch, wildlife corridors, and concerns include effects on open space, wildlife movement views, and water demands.
I believe that to be true.
As Colorado Startup Week is gaining momentum this week after a lower turnout during past years, especially around the pandemic. This year's Colorado Startup Week seems to be seen as revitalizing the entrepreneur. I cannot pronounce that name.
Entrepreneur.
Scene in Denver and beyond. Then we have the Colorado Supreme Court's Chief Justice dissenting more often. Chief Justice Monica M. Marquez has been dissent in several recent decisions. This represents a shift in role compared to past terms. And then, unfortunately, this is true news. I'm sorry, everything can't be rainbows and unicorns. Evergreen High School this last week, they were in a shooting. There was a school shooting, and the update is one of the victims, Matthew Silverstone, 18, remains hospital after the shooting at Evergreen High School. Authorities are also investigating the alleged radicalization of the shooter. So that's the trending news and the free events that are going on in your neck of the woods here in Colorado is Durango Autumn Arts Festival. It's in Durango, 2nd Avenue downtown, September 21st. Free entry, lots of art, fine crafts, booths, live entertainment, and family activities. Estes Park, just Down the road, 45 minutes from Denver, Estes Park Autumn Gold Festival, September 2021. Oh, I think I know where me and my wife's going this weekend. Free admission, classic car shows, face painting, long games, family fun. And I tell you what, it's fall, baby. It's fall. If you haven't went to like Aspen or up in the mountains to see the leaves changing and the colors and stuff, this is the time to go because it is absolutely gorgeous. Okay.
We haven't had any rain here, so ours are already changing here in Pennsylvania.
See what I mean? So then we have the Park After Dark, the Silent Disco, which is in Frisco, September 20th at 6:30 p.m. It's a free dancing amongst historical artifacts, a pop-up tattoo booth, etc. New American Art Festival, Aurora, Rajni Healing Arts Center, September 21st. Feel free. It's low. It's free. It's low admission. Multicultural art events. And one of these days, I don't know if you remember me telling you about this, MJ, but the table that we have that's in the studio, we have this wooden table.
Yes, your dad or somebody helped you make it.
Right. The story behind it. Well, anyways, Mohawk that we had on the show recently about his wood burning creations, he's creating a mural on that table, and we're going to fasten that table to the wall.
Way to go, Mohawk!
Yeah, and not only is he going to create the wood burning of the table, but this is the awesome part. If you're a host or you're a DJ MBR and you're flying in to Colorado, you're going to sign that table because if you sign the wall, that's friends forever. Broadcasting, we stick together. I got your back, you got my back, kind of thing. That's how we roll here at MBR.
Amen. Namaste. I hope.
And then we have Civic Centers EATS Denver. It's various times, evening, food trucks, etc. Free to enter. Eat as you go, food trucks, and live music. And last but not least, the Museo de las Americas, Museos es tu casa. I can't speak Spanish, so I'm sure that I shredded that up like Swedish chef. And that's in Denver, and it's ongoing. It includes weekend times, free expeditions for locals. And I tell you what, I don't know about you, MJ, but like here in Colorado, food trucks are getting really popular.
Everywhere.
They're getting really popular.
You know why? Because owning a brick and mortar restaurant requires more licensing and permits and is taxed more than a food truck. Now, go figure.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, we had a food truck. We went to a food truck Sunday when we did the Honor and Remembrance Run. You can check out that video on our show page as well. That this last Sunday.
That's an idea, Joel. Look at boom. MBR needs a radio truck, not a food truck. Get one of those trucks.
We're trying. We're trying.
Go get a van. They're the easiest.
We're trying. But rain keeps falling out of the air and not the money. I don't know where I need to live for the money to come falling out of the air. But yeah, we're
now you manifest the money. Blow some cinnamon inside your doors. You just blow some cinnamon inside your door, light a few candles of abundance, and call it in, baby. Lady Fortuna. Jewel needs you, Lady Fortuna.
Right? Okay, so that's the free events. That's the stuff that's going on in our neck of the woods. If you have a nonprofit or a business and you have an event that's coming up during the week, get a hold of us. Community calendar, we'll air it. We'll put that flyer, everything. But you have to reach out and let us know what's going on. So with that being said, we're going to go on our next music. And when we come back from our news break, we're probably going to play 2 songs just to make sure that we get her in the studio and everything. But we're going to have my good friend Sandra. Badass. That's all I'm going to say. Badass. She's going to talk about her life, her transition, and the things that she's doing for veterans. And if I'm not mistaken, she has an invitation for an important job if you want to advocate for veterans. So whatever you do, stay tuned, stay with us. You haven't seen nothing yet. You're listening to the show that highlights all the nonprofit programs out there beyond the VA. You're listening to the H Train Show right here on the station. Let's let our veterans be heard and beyond.
Complicates and shakes you, consumes all that makes you deep inside your bones. In a moment, choose the things you want and remember who you are and who you want to be. An anonymous dream can call it deep inside your soul. Let it came with love and splendor, everything you owned. It's right there for us. Just take a chance. How does it feel to fall forever? Don't you know I'm not afraid to take it as it comes? How does it feel to fall forever? Don't you know I'm not afraid, just desperately in love. In moments we become absorbent, open to all currents of electricity. An anonymous dream can call it deep inside your soul. Let it came with love and splendor, everything you owned. It's right here for us. Just take a chance. How does it feel to fall forever? Don't you know I'm not afraid to take it as it comes? How does it feel to fall forever? Don't you know I'm not afraid, just desperately in love. Take my hand into the further. Let's go and fall forever. You take my hand into the further. Let's go and fall forever. How does it feel to fall forever? Don't you know I'm not afraid to take it as it comes? How does it feel to fall forever? Don't you know I'm not afraid, just desperately in love.
There's a man you'll probably never meet. He's out there fighting while you're sound asleep. To protect your life, he gave his away. Although you might not now, well, you'll appreciate him someday. And I know you'll try and understand, but you'll never get what it's like to be a military man. Shipped out when he was young to experience the world, while others went to college to experience the girls. As things turned out, his travels didn't quite go as planned. They dropped him in the desert, nothing but miles and miles of sand. Meanwhile at college, yeah, his friends were living it up. Oh, how slowly they'd forgotten the man in the camouflage truck. To protect their lives, he gave his away. Although they might not now, well, they'll appreciate him someday. And I know they try and understand, but they'll never get what it's like to be a military man. He sacrificed his life, his loved ones and his dreams, fighting for their freedom. Oh, they don't know how much that means. He's far away and forgotten now. Others done with their degrees. Yeah, they got their slips of paper while he's still fighting for them while they sleep. But late one evening, back in the desert and out of the blue, hold up the enemy without a hero having a clue. Gunfire went on for what seemed like days and days, and our unknown soldier took one in the head during the blaze. His friends sat and cried during his 30-second clip on the news. They watched their young brave hero pay the ultimate of dues. Later on at the funeral, a shadow cast on the ground. There stands a grieving mother whose voice began to ring out loud. How many wars must we fight until we're finally done? I've lost a father, a husband, and now my only son. What's the price of freedom? 'Cause it sure ain't free. Oh, I could give you one good answer, but now I can give you three. To protect her life, he gave his away. Oh, she always has. She's gonna miss him this day. And I know she's tried at least 3 times, but she'll never get what it's like, and she'll never understand why. Yes, there are the lucky ones, the ones who do survive, but they don't come back the same. It's just harder staying alive. So next time you see a veteran or a man in his fatigues, well, I hope you'll smile and thank them for protecting us while we sleep. So tip your glasses for our men and women too. To all our colors, all our reds and whites and blues. To every soldier coming home or on their way through. Current, past, and those that are due. Protect our lives, they give theirs away. Although we might not now, but we'll appreciate them someday. And I know we try and understand, but we'll never get what it's like to be a military man.
At Military Broadcast Radio, the goal is to offer a platform for mental health advocacy while connecting the military community through various media platforms. Founded by U.S. Army veteran Joel Hunt, MBR gives a voice to veterans, first responders, and their families through streaming radio, podcasts, video, and outreach events. With its leadership run completely by veterans and hosts of the diverse programming from all branches of service, MBR was created as a response to the silent battles veterans face after service. Military Broadcast Radio is also a Wreaths Across America partner, hosting a $5 backed sponsorship group page. For every veterans wreath sponsored through the Military Broadcast Radio page, MBR receives $5 back to help support their platforms and outreach. Veteran and first responder stories need to be told and shared. And with your support, MBR can continue to bring together veteran nonprofits, mental health organizations, and government agencies to bridge the gap between veterans and vital resources. To find out more and donate, visit wreathsacrossAmerica.org/MBR.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Find us on the web at mbradio.net.
I love
All
that.
right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and once again, you're listening to the 8th Train Show right here on Military Broadcast Radio. And you know what? We're just going to cut to the chase because, you know, everybody's coming in. They're not coming in here to watch the show. They're coming in here to watch Sandra because she's a badass. Ladies and gentlemen, our interview of the week, Sandra.
The interview of the week is brought to you by Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Ladies and gentlemen, my good friend Sandra. Hopefully we got the sound fixed and stuff.
I cannot hear you guys. I don't know if you can hear me.
We can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you. Yes, you can't hear us?
Let me try.
I guess not. Okay, all right. Make.
So once upon a time in Dreamland on the H show, we were conducting sound tests to find out if no prevail that we can hear Sandra.
I know, right? Maybe we need one of those like green screen areas or whatever.
I don't know.
But the good thing is that, you know, we can hear her.
Yeah.
If she comes back and we still have issues, we'll make sure. I'll just have her call in.
There you go.
That's not a problem.
Let's put that call button up there.
Yeah. In fact, I tell her 72061900627. If you call in, just mute the StreamYard mic. No problem. There we go. All right, let's see if we got it now. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
We're
my gosh.
fire.
One under fire. Adapt and overcome. Just gotta make some changes.
You know, Sandra, I've known for a very long time, and she is a badass. And I learned how much of a badass she was. We went on a skydiving event, and you know, I'm a real firm believer about the skydiving. Everybody that goes to the skydiving event, I've noticed that it's kind of like empowered them. They've done bigger and better things, and you know, MJ, I'll let you read off, you know, the stuff that she's done. But I did my show prep yesterday. I looked at it. I'm like, damn, her resume is bigger than my credit report, you know, because she's done a lot of things. And I didn't even realize that you climbed Mount
Kilimanjaro.
I can't pronounce this shit to save my life. But you know, Sandra, I mean, you've been through it all. I wish that I was on part of another army. So you had different two worlds. You've been in the I can't pronounce
Lithuania.
it. Yeah, Lithuanian War or Lithuanian Army. Been in the Lithuanian Army. You've been in the U.S. Describe how that transition was. That has to be somewhat different.
Yeah, so I was not in the Lithuanian army, but I was born and raised in Lithuania and I
Oh,
spent
okay, all
18
right.
years there. Yeah, yeah. But completely culture shock, a whole lot of differences coming from a country that was occupied by USSR for many, many years, and kind of living through that, right? Seeing that change when I was young, when Lithuania broke off, and kind of for the first time we got to see the Western television. And I used to watch Saved by the Bell and always dream about, living in the United States. So coming to America and moving directly to New York City was just, I always joke about it. I was like, it was living in one of those J-Lo videos to me, because, here I am landed in New York City. I don't speak the language. People come from all over the world. Like, they all look different than me, which I was not used to it because I'm from Lithuania and, it's a small Eastern European country, but it was definitely a culture shock. It was exciting and scary at the same time. But once again, this is the country where your dreams can come true, where you can really put your mindset to whatever you want to be and you truly can accomplish it. And to this day, I always say, if not the opportunity for me to move to the United States and join the military, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. And I would have never had those opportunities to do the cool stuff like skydiving with you and, climbing Mount Kilimanjaro and doing all the other stuff.
I tell you what, when after you did the skydiving thing, you asked me about like the mission continues, and you got connected with that, and you got connected with San Diego, and then I was real tickled because Nico wrote me and he's like, "Do you know Sandra?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah, I know Sandra. She's one of my battles." He's like, "Yeah, she's helping us, she's working." And I'm like, "Oh, that is so cool,"
Yeah.
to think that,
Sandra, I have a question, and I've always wondered this, even when I was in the service. How difficult is it from being a citizen of another country to come here to be a citizen and then go into the military? Can you just give me like the psyche side of how you felt about that?
Yeah. So, well, two things. You don't even have to be a
In the
citizen, at
process.
least. Right. So when I moved here, the way we moved to United States, we won a diversity green card lottery that allowed my family and I to move to United States. And it's one of those, like, it's truly a lottery, right? They kind of, so many people apply, they pick so many people a year that can migrate. So coming to the United States, I wasn't even a full citizen yet when I joined the military. I actually only had a green card, and I was, just a resident at that time. I wasn't a citizen. But the military, and obviously the times were also a little bit different. It was 2002 when I moved, and 2003 is when I enlisted. And as you all know, the Iraq invasion was happening, so they were recruiting pretty heavily. But they took me in as just a resident, not a citizen. I actually became a citizen 2 years after joining the military, so in 2005, and they expedited my citizenship. Usually you have to wait about 5 years until you can become a citizen. So it wasn't difficult paperwork wise, or it wasn't something that, was a lot of challenges because I wasn't a citizen yet. It only had a green card. It was more difficult because of the culture shock, and right, coming from another country, not only not speaking English, but also not speaking the military language. As we all know, there's a lot of acronyms and just things that we do differently. A lot of slang, absolutely.
A lot of
So,
slangs.
so it was challenging, but not because I wasn't a citizen yet. If anything, I would say the military was very supportive, and then kind of, like I said, expedited the whole process for me.
Oh, thank you for that.
Here's an army slang for everybody, like the word of the day: farticles. Farticles. When you go into Walmart down the aisle and you fart, nobody's there, but the farticles are still in the area. Farticles. So
Joe,
there we
I'm glad
go.
you haven't changed.
No, he
That's
hasn't.
some education for you, everybody.
Love it.
But she is so educated and not out of fluctuation. So Sandra, What is it that you prize yourself today? I mean, your resume and your Resolute, when I start reading, it's just so much. It is baffling. And, you know, people always say, I don't have time. I don't have time. Well, Sandra definitely had time because this is so exclusive. And that is the power to you and that energy that you source. So what are you actively, like, out of all of this? I'm going to ask you three things. What is the one thing in your past that you absolutely going, it was the best thing I ever did? Second one I want to know is, what learning process out of all of this would you say benefited you the most to get where you are today? And the last question I'm going to ask is, on that last question is, what is empowering you today for your service to others that you are very proud of?
Yeah, so I would say the best thing that I've ever done was joining the military, hands down. I mean, I'm
Thank you.
proud of my service. I always say if I did not serve, I would not be where I'm at. You know, and it was something that, once again, I did not have my family that served in the United States military. I didn't have any friends. It was purely like, kind of, here's an opportunity, you know, nothing about, am I going to risk it and take it? And I did. And it turned out to be the greatest experience of my life, of what I've learned, what I've done, people that I met, right? So that was hands down the best decision that I have made. Um, the second question, what was it? Remind me, second question.
What was the best learning out of all the educational classes that you feel that I shouldn't say should, that you feel may contribute for a betterment of the world by taking that course of study?
Yeah, so I would say my bachelor's degree was international securities and resolution at San Diego State, and we call it ISCOR for short. It's such a great program for a couple of reasons, because I think, you know, in the military, you only go places that they send you, and usually not the places that you want to really go to. But when you transition out, you kind of have a little bit of freedom to travel a little bit more and see the world. And that specific degree actually pushed me out of my comfort to kind of start traveling and, you know, backpacking and doing that kind of stuff. So it was really, really eye-opening, not in the way that the things that I learned in the classroom, but also by doing study abroads, traveling, you know, getting out of my comfort zone and seeing the world. Because you know, a lot of times we can get stuck in that mindset, oh, there's just things happening in our country, especially like now with everything that's happening, you know, we might think that, oh, it's better somewhere else, but not until you travel somewhere else that you realize how good we have it here in the United States. And no country is perfect, but I also say there's no other country that everybody's willing to, you know, give up everything and risk everything to come to. So we have it great here. And after traveling to different locations, you really realize that.
Amen. Amen. Thank you.
Mhm.
And you are actively pushing what message today?
So I would say my message, and it's really simple. It's like for people to take an opportunity, get out of the comfort zone, right? Go network. If you're afraid of speaking, maybe sign up for speaking. Take classes. You know, stay curious and never stop learning. Because, and that's why, you know, my resume, my background, I didn't do it for titles. I didn't do it because, you know, that's something that I just want to like check off the box. I'm truly curious. Like, I love learning. I love going and seeing different aspects and different angles. So stay curious, stay proactive. I always say, you know, I brief transitioning service members every week. I work with transitioning service members. And that's one thing that I say. You have to be your own advocate, but most importantly, you have to do research. You have to be proactive, and you have to, you know, get out there and learn and network and do sometimes things that you're not comfortable with. Because the more you do them, the more comfortable you're gonna get.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for your message, and thank you for your service.
Now,
Thank you.
when I asked you to come on, Sandra, you know, you had posted something on LinkedIn, and I'm getting a little bit better at LinkedIn compared to like all the other social medias, you know, because LinkedIn hasn't really changed the dashboard like Facebook does every 3 months. But with LinkedIn, you know, you was advertising something that you was trying to, you know, get more veteran advocates out there. Can you shed some light and talk about that today so that, we can help you? Because I'm sure you have a message that, that you guys are still looking for motivated veterans.
Yeah, so well, with my job, my current job, we do work with transitioning service members and we place them to federal agencies while they go through the medical board transition. So, really my message, and I think a lot of the stuff that I share on LinkedIn is usually to show the veterans and military transitioning service members there are opportunities out there. People love veterans. Veterans have so much to offer. And one thing that I always, try to push through as well is that you're not alone. As a veteran or transitioning service member, you don't have to go through this transition by yourself. There are people like me, like you guys, who are there to hear, who are there to share resources, who are there to connect, right? So I always say, you're not alone. It takes a village. You just gotta reach out and say, hey, I need help. There's so many programs out there, and there's so many private sector organizations and even civilians that passionate and want to help the veterans. So you're not alone. I always say, connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm always happy to help. I have a network, really wide network. So always, always, always happy to help another veteran.
So your portfolio is pretty long. What do you have going on in the next couple of months that is going to keep on building on your portfolio? Because I know there's something that keeps driving you. Would you like to share that? Maybe we might be able to help you on promoting that.
Yeah, so I have a couple things. I'm actually heading out to Atlanta this weekend. They do have a huge conference. It's called the Military Influencer Conference that I will be attending. Very excited. It's my very first one. They usually put together once a year. I am also speaking at the local event in San Diego. It is called Mission to Marketplace, and it's put together by IVMF through Syracuse University. And the event is truly for any veteran, family member, or anyone who's interested in entrepreneurship. Maybe they have a business, maybe they're looking to start a business and they just want to connect, get inspired, find resources. So that's going to be taking place on September 30th on my birthday. So I invite everybody to come and celebrate my birthday at the same time. Thank you. But that's going to be a big event. I'll be the opener for that event. So I'm super excited. Yeah, and then I have fun stuff coming up. Actually, I have a personal trip. I'm going to Europe, visiting Spain, Portugal, and Morocco. So I'm going to do a little bit of fun stuff as well in October.
Now, Sandra, when are you coming to Colorado? Because I want you to see the MBR studio.
That's been on my list, and I don't want to make promises, but I am thinking. I'm thinking early next year. That's very high probability. So
okay,
early next year, I'll keep in touch, and I'll definitely let you know when I'm there, because I
all
would
right.
love
Well,
to.
when you
I would
come,
love to stop by.
when you come, I'll feed you Dunkin' Donuts and Jersey Mike's for lunch. Okay.
All right, take it easy, because
A big spender.
Yeah.
I'll take you to the Golden Arches. I'll top him.
All right, MJ, I'm hanging out with you.
There you go. Sandra, I have another question though for you, because you are so intriguing to me. When you have people who are a disabled veteran who obviously they get out and they have to heal themselves first, obviously, first and foremost. But then do you find like remote jobs for people who are who can't really be in the public after such a disability? Do you help them find those kind of things?
So I definitely work with service members who, have certain limitations and maybe not able to drive, or even for the internships that I do, right? So a lot of times we try to find internships that are remote because, of their disability. But, obviously right now the remote opportunities are a little bit fewer than it used to be during COVID and right after COVID. But there are certainly still a lot of companies that hire, and they have either remote opportunities or at least hybrid schedules. So absolutely, I'm always happy to talk to a veteran or transitioning service member and see, if we can find companies that offer that flexibility and see, what would be the best match for them. But yes, absolutely. Just because they can't drive or they have a disability. I wouldn't. I help with that a lot. I get a lot. I would say I'm more on the active duty side where I prepare them for transition and put them in the federal agencies, but not to say that through my line of work, I get a lot of also, connections that are hiring as well. So like I'm part of the Veterans Beer Club here in San Diego, where we do networking between veterans transitioning service members and then any companies that are hiring. I used to do career transition classes at 4 blocks. So I do have connections in private sector as well as the government sector as well.
Oh, that's
All
beautiful.
right, there we go. Now, if we have any veteran that is listening and they need help with transition or a job or anything like that, they can reach out to Sandra, and Sandra will be able to hook them up. I can tell you, knowing Sandra for as long as I have, when she puts her mind to something, there's no stopping her. She gets the shit done. She follows up. So,
Sandra, if you give me your email for people to contact you, I can stick it up here in the forums.
there you go.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can use my personal email. It would be ltsandra12@gmail.com.
Ugh, okay,
Yeah.
I'm not a secretary. Hold on. LT.
Sandra.
Okay.
That's okay. There's some secretaries that aren't secretaries either, so you're good.
LTC Sandra at. What is it? LTC Sandra at.
It's just LT, then my first name, Sandra.
Oh, okay.
12@gmail.
Oh,
Sandra, I know that you have a busy schedule. You have busy meetings and stuff coming on. So we're coming up on the last question. And hey, Battle, it was so good seeing you. It was so good seeing you. You look great. I'm starting to think that you're a vampire. You don't age a bit. It pisses me off.
Oh, thank you, Joel. You made my day.
It's the time to shine.
Today's Time to Shine is brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts, veterans, and first responders. Runs on Dunkin'.
This is your time to shine, baby. It's your time to shine.
Sandra, maybe I didn't ask you for that right question or set you up for that right answer, and there's something more that you'd like to talk about, others, like if you go on TikTok, the question would be, what do you look forward to more in life? Like what's your next goal that you're trying to do? This is your 2-minute platform to say or talk about anything that we didn't mention already.
Yeah, I'm glad you let me add something. But my main goal, to be honest, is there's nothing that gives me more purpose and satisfaction than helping others. I want to help others. I want to give back. Like I said, everything that I've gotten was because of the military, because of the community, because of this amazing country. So I want to give back. I want to be, thankful to all the things that I have. And so one things that I'm doing now to give back and to kind of bridge communities together is I've recently started a company called the Complete Solution Group, along with 2 of my business partners who are both retired DHS field directors. And really our goal is to, once again, to help law enforcement agents, to help first responders in getting the top best new innovations, so to make sure that they can continue the mission, that they can be safe out there, they can be faster, better, that they can have the best, the newest technology that it's out there. So we want to bridge that gap and make sure that we help out our law enforcement agents, and we bring the new innovation and bridge that private sector technology into the federal, local, and state level law enforcement agencies. So that's something of a passion, and that's something I've been working for the last 3 years. So if you know of any law enforcement agencies, whether it's sheriff's department,
Oh,
Denver
we do.
PD, or
We
yeah.
have in fact, I'm gonna introduce you to her in an email off stage. I have a friend. Her name is Ace, and she has a bulletproof podcast. and she's going to get excited when I introduce you to her. You would be a prime example of who she wants to talk to and stuff. She used to be like FBI and Secret Service, CIA, all that stuff. Yeah, she's amazing. So I'm going to
That would be
introduce.
awesome.
I'm going to introduce you to her and get that stuff changed. I know you already have a lot of stuff that you have going on for today. So I'm going to get ready to let you go. But I wanted to tell you that, I know that you have a choice in what you do in the mornings. And I appreciate that you took time out of your day and spent a little time with us, learn about particles and stuff, So, I
No,
appreciate.
thank you for having me. This was an honor to be part of this. And Joel, it's so great to catch up with you and see you again. And like I said, it's all about that camaraderie and continuing
Right?
our relationship years later.
And I'm so proud of you, Sandra. I really am. You're kicking ass, taking names. I'm so proud of you.
And she's a woman. Hear us roar.
Yeah, really.
Yes.
We
It
can
was
do
my
it.
honor to meet you, sweetheart. What a blessing that you are to empower women and to empower the people who are trying to make a difference in the United States by coming over and understanding the United States truly, in my opinion, is the best world there is. And we love having our people come in and transition, like you say, into some glorious, magical person that we needed desperately in the U.S. Thank you for that.
Thank you, guys.
And Sandra just throwing that out. Anytime you want to do a podcast, your home's right here.
And I'm going to let you know when I'm in Colorado. We're definitely hanging out and eating donuts.
There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, my battle, Sanda Ambotaite. I'm sure I butchered that last name, but she was in the U.S. Army, and she's a lieutenant, and she's continuing to empower veterans after service. So thank you, Sandra. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Joel. Thanks, MJ. Good to see you guys.
Good to see you.
For everybody else, we are going to go on our break. We're going to go on the tribute to the troops. And when we come back from the tribute to the troops, we're going to wind down and we're going to hit the final thoughts. And if you have any questions or need any information, you have about 30 minutes to get those questions in. And if you have events and you're a nonprofit going this weekend and you want to get it on this recording, call us, email us, let us know. It's not too late. And like I always say, better late than never. So everybody tune in right now for Tribute to the Troops.
Detail attention.
First call, the service member's name is called out loud in the context of a unit. This is meant to ensure all are present and accounted for. Second call, the name is called out again, louder, to confirm that the service member is indeed absent. Third call, the name is called out for a final time, followed by a statement indicating that the service member is not present and accounted for, signifying their death. The final roll call serves as a symbolic gesture to respect and remember their service.
Sir, I don't know how to tell this story.
Well, you got to, Joe. You tell the American people what these men did here. You tell them how my troopers died.
Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in to MBR today as we pay tribute to Colonel Laverne Bullitt Young Jr., age 65 of Corinth, Texas. Bullitt was born on December 2nd, 1958 in Biloxi, Mississippi to Laverne Young Sr. and Maddie Lou Young. Bullitt received his commission through Army ROTC program in 1980 at Jackson State University in Jackson, Mississippi, where he graduated with the highest military honors and a degree in management. After commissioning as an officer in the United States Army, he attended the Adjutant General Officer Basic Course in 1980, Rotary Wing Aviator in 1984, Aviation Officer Advanced Course in 88, Combined Armed Service Staff School in 1988, Instructor Qualification Course 1988, CGSC Non-Resident 1991, CGSC College 1995, Air War College 2002, Joint and Combined Warfighting School in 2002, and Joint Training Professional Military Education Phase 2 in 2002. Bullitt served 30 years as an aviator and achieved the rank of colonel, retiring as the Defense Coordinating Officer, or DCO, for the Defense Coordinating Element in FEMA Region 6 in Denton, Texas, assigned to U.S. Army North. During his assignment as the DCO, Bullitt and his team responded to hurricanes, floods, ice storms, fires, and man-made disasters, deploying his team to the Gulf Coast for Deepwater Horizon, Hurricane Rita, Gustav, and Ike, to name a few. Bullitt was highly decorated with numerous awards and campaign medals. After retiring, Bullitt was hired by FEMA as the Operations Branch Chief, Response Division. He was promoted to Deputy Division Director and Incident Management Assistant Team Leader for one of the region's 2 Rapid Deployable Incident Management Assistant Teams. In 2019, he was again promoted to Response Division Director. Bullitt loved spending time with his family, cooking meals from around the world, golfing, fishing, and other leisure activities. He was known for his patriotism, energetic spirit, positive mindset, generosity, and unwavering willingness to help others and serve his community and country. Bullitt passed away on January 5th, 2024, surrounded by loved ones at Medical City, Dallas. Bullitt was a hero on the battlefield, an outstanding citizen, and a beloved husband, father, grandfather, and friend. He is survived by his wife, Retta, and his children, Damien, Sofrina, Demetrius, Sky, and his grandson, Christian. His impact extended beyond the uniform, touching the lives of those fortunate enough to know him. We here at NBR would like to thank you, Colonel Laverne Bullitt Young Jr., for your service and dedication to our country. You leave a legacy of love and courage. Our prayers are with your family, friends, and those who served alongside you. You are truly missed. See you on the high ground.
Bell detail, pinch it. Ready.
It's the guts and it's the glory. 100 stripes, 100 stories. It's the Pledge of Allegiance on the 4th of July. It's them handwritten letters from home. It's them sleepless nights alone. It's his newborn baby he left with his wife. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's a line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Hey, to the swamps of Louisiana, to the golden coast of California. Uncle Sam's the only family he's got. His purple heartbeat won't stop. And his 18th birthday was the day he was born. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, hear the light. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars that shine. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, stand on the front line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, pay the ultimate price. Proud but torn, but if you knew him you would understand. He was raised on how to be brave, just to see the flag still wave. And then he came home with only one hand. 'Cause Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, hear the light. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars that shine. Marching line. Hey. Hey.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Meant to do that. MBR, it's in the game.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Woo! Throwback that ass Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. We played that football to remind everybody tonight is Thursday night football. Hopefully it's not a rerun. I'd have to look and see exactly who's playing tonight. MJ, are you watching football these days, or are you
NFL? I don't watch NFL, but you can guarantee you on a Saturday my butt is in front of a TV.
Oh yes.
I love college football and I love professional hockey. So those two sports, they're in my heart. NFL, I'm sorry, I had to give that up a while ago.
Well, I'm trying to think. Pennsylvania, would you consider Pittsburgh part of the Pittsburgh Steelers? You're like team or whatever for Pennsylvania? No.
Even when I was into NFL before their crap, I never liked Philadelphia Eagles because they destroy the city every freaking time. I don't understand it. And I don't like Pittsburgh because I find Pittsburgh to be a little on the rude side. I know people are going to hate me for that. But my team when I was with NFL was the Washington. Well, I don't know what they are now. They were the Redskins. And the only reason is because my dad was he was a head football coach, and he was also a broadcaster. And he used to be one of the assistant coaches down in the Redskins with another friend of mine who has already crossed, Glenn and Ostrander, and he actually played. And my father then became very much into football. So I'm sure when I say stuff like I don't watch the NFL, he's having a dagger from that from the heavens come to my head. But at least I'm like Penn State because that's my alumni. So we are Penn State is my motto, and I will always stick to it. And the New Jersey Devils are my team for hockey. So there you have it. Oh, and the Marlins. The Marlins are my baseball team.
And I've known you for about 2 years now, and I never knew that your dad broadcasted.
Yes, sir. He was well known. In fact, Senator Dave McCormick was one of his players, and he wrote his book, Who Made You, Who You Are, and he wrote about my father in chapter 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
And just so everybody knows, tonight's Thursday night football game, it starts at 6:15 p.m. I'm going to guess that's Eastern Standard Time. And it is the Dolphins against the Bills. And I can tell you already that I'm pretty sure that the Bills is going to take that one.
Now, see, I'm from Miami. That kind of hurt that you already said that. No, I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. So, yeah.
But, you know,
I lived most of my life in Miami. You know that. But I was in
I know.
Since 1988. And then 2 hurricanes took me out and pulled me out of there for about 3 or 4 years till I could get my life and my houses back in order. And then I just finally moved out. I had enough. I had enough of the hurricanes, man. Those you people, I had enough. No, I'm only kidding again.
No, you know, I saw recently on social media that I don't know if it's another business or what, but it has to do with camera. It has like a little camera on it, and
Jazzy Center. It's
can you shed some light on that?
I can. So one of and I was asking Sandra because I am a product of being a disabled veteran, and I have auto and neuroimmunity. So as I'm getting older, it's demyelinating. So I had to get myself out of the cities and out of the people. My husband, God love him, he decided to etch his boating career as a captain and as a tour host that he has done since he was like 12 years old. And we decided that my health was more important. So we moved up here to have smaller, I don't want to really call them retreats, but holistical wise, we do photography and holistics. He does a program called Look Up, which I announced, and he helps people with photography classes, how to learn to use your cameras. And he's really basically astrophotography. So he loves the Milky Ways. He loves everything that's going on up there. He loves skylines. So he takes a lot of those types of pictures. And then for myself, to remain healthy, I have smaller centers where people can come up and detach themselves. It is very quiet. You hear nothing but nature. You don't hear a dog bark. You don't hear you don't hear helicopters. You don't hear sirens, people honking horns. It is silence. And the only thing you hear is animal life. So I'm trying to rebalance and refit. Sooner or later, when we get everything built up, it will be for disabled veterans to be able to hunt as well. We can get them up into stands with lifts. And it will also be for children to learn proper gun control with my husband. And then for myself, I'll start back with using the PTSD veteran circles again, so that people can come up and they can speak about it without having a dysfunction of people not understanding what they're talking about.
That's amazing. I love it. I really do. I really love it. You know, and me and you was talking about, you know, like the salt caves, and you're trying to get stuff established there in Pennsylvania, and you know, and it's funny because we one of the shows that we have that's coming up next. I mean, I think he's going to be on the air by next week because he's like, he already has content. He already knows what he wants to do, and you know, he's already set up the appointments to learn and stuff, and that's that Steve-O that I was talking about, and he's in your area. He's in Pennsylvania, so yeah. So you know, and he was talking about, yeah, you know, I want to do remotes and I want to do what you guys are doing. I mean, like he's really on fire about it, and I'm like, wow. Interesting that you said that because we have a couple of hosts in Pennsylvania, and I consider Red really in Pennsylvania also because he's like right on the edge.
Red is? In Tennessee, yeah.
Yeah.
He's in Tennessee, yep.
Well, no, not Red. The Tennessee would be Joey. Red.
Ken?
Yeah, Jay. Red Skelton.
I always thought he was a Mississippi boy or Louisiana, some down in the South.
Well, he is, but he said he's just right across the lake.
But if you're still listening, where do you live, man?
Right? I'm getting all my facts all messed up.
There we go. It's all good. If anybody, in fact, I was telling Terry, I go, Terry, when you were in Albany, you were literally 4 hours from me. I am so north. I am 12 miles to the New York border, just south of Watkins Glen, Seneca Lake area. So I'm back inside of like what do they call that area of New York? The Adirondacks. So I'm in the mountains. I'm high in the mountains.
And I have a friend that is in Pennsylvania, Indiana, wherever the hell that is.
Not my wedding.
Okay, I need to go visit him too. He's some big shot finance guy now. I need
him too. Who are you?
Right? I need to make more friends with rich people.
I need that inheritance club rub off. I said the two things I wasn't given in life, but I didn't marry into wealth, and I wasn't born as a hereditary wealth. I was like, I don't know. I'm just gonna be me.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've came up on the final segment. We came up onto the final thoughts.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition. Strap in.
It's the 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning. What we learned today. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
At Project ML, gratitude. Our mission is simple: to give motorcycles to veterans who need the kind of peace and freedom that only a ride can give.
So before we get through, I just wanted to reiterate, MBR's best friend, Project ML Gratitude, what they do is they provide motorcycles for veterans, free of charge. They provide them so that they can experience wind therapy. Everybody has different output. Everybody has a different outlet. Everybody has different skills, and everybody has different likes and loves. And whenever somebody comes to me and they ask me about a nonprofit, I always tell them, you know what? The nonprofit that you need to donate, or you need to donate your time to, is the nonprofit that you're passionate about. Which that means if you're into golf, if you have a passion for golf, there's many nonprofits out there that deal with golf, and you can always ask MBR. You can always send us a message and ask us. We'll give you nonprofits that you've never even heard of. Okay. But it doesn't matter how much the nonprofit makes, after admin costs and stuff like that. Just know that when you go to choose a nonprofit to support or to donate, pick a nonprofit that you would enjoy spending with that veteran. We can agree that we don't mind donating or spending money whenever we're having fun. It's kind of that moment thing. And if you play golf, if you hunt, if you like doing sports, I mean, it's incredible to donate and spend a day with the veteran that you donated to, especially like here at MBR. If you really like these shows, I call these the Wayne World shows. I don't know what you want to call them.
Wayne's World.
Right. If you really enjoy, the broadcast and what we're doing, amplifying not just veterans, but nonprofits, veteran businesses. If you enjoy what we're doing, contribute, donate, sponsor a veteran. You can name a specific veteran, say, hey, I want to sponsor this veteran, help them learn, because MJ, when she first started here 2 years ago, her show is totally different than it is now. because she's learned. And that's the important part here at MBR. Not only are you doing a show and you're focused on purpose, but you're learning. You're learning how to be a journalist, and you're given that opportunity. Is your show going to get popular? Is your show is everybody going to tune in? I don't know. That
Yes.
depends on you as a veteran.
Yes.
There's endless opportunities when you start here at MBR. And remember, you have to start to finish. That's the important thing. You can't just start and think automatically that you're gonna get 1,000 views or 500 views or a bunch of people. You just have to keep doing it consistently and let your passion reflect what you're doing. Like I told everybody last week, my wife had a colleague, her son died, and I sat down with her, and I didn't mean to make her cry, but I sat down with her, and I'm like, you've had some devastation happen in your life, but there's two ways that you can go about this. We can be depressed, we can feel sorry for ourselves, we can kind of like give up on life, or show that purpose, show that reflection of your son, what he meant to you, and do something in his name. That if that's making dream catchers, if that's doing a podcast show, if that's going out there and smacking that ball on the golf course, or anything that you can think of. It's an outlet. Yes, it's an outlet. Make sure that you're serving with a purpose.
Amen.
That's the key thing. And every day when I do this show, every day when I do anything that has to do with MBR, I'm learning new things every day. And one of the things that I'm learning is I'm learning different ways that I can give of myself. I do believe in the power of positivity. I do believe that if you put good stuff out there, good karma, stuff might not show up right away, but it's going to show up sooner or later. You get out of life what you put into it.
Big
And
time.
that's the same thing with education. That's the same thing with anything. So if you have a veteran out there that inspires you, let them know. Let them know. And make sure as you go throughout the day today, make sure you hold the door open and you smile for somebody at least one time. See if that positive energy comes back at you.
Amen.
Just give that a try. MJ,
Yes,
what
sir.
did you learn today?
I learned that empowering oneself, Kilimanjaro, is not even a limit. It is just another goal. So set your goals, set them reasonable. Don't have my illusion. Set your goals. And just like Sandra, you can climb every mountain that you want to, as long as you set those goals for manifestation. And that is an empowerment, not just for women, it's for men as well.
I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you.
I was like, Joel?
I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you.
I find when people make goals, they set them so high. That's called a Maya illusion. And that is where it's like, I have a goal and I'm going to win lotto. Okay. The odds of that happening to keep you depressed because you're not winning lotto is there. However, if you make these smaller goals in life, and just like Sandra, one step at a time, right? So build a goal so that you reach it and you feel accomplished. And then you take the next step and the next step. And sooner or later, you're going to hit Kilimanjaro, man. You're going to hit it just like Sandra. And that is, keep pressing forward. Shut the TV freaking off. Shut your social medias off. You don't need them. We didn't need them in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. You don't need them now. You don't need them. Turn them off. It's causing decisiveness. It's causing separation, and it's causing your brain for ego and judgment. So set your goals, manifest, be happy within you, love within you, and get those goals so that you can accomplish step by step, one thing at a time.
You know, I talked with a battle buddy this week because she's doing incredible things. She was a part of MBR until she had to move back to New Hampshire. I don't think you met her before, MJ, but it's CG. And CG was telling me all the stuff that she was planning on. And I told her, you know, the best investment that I've ever made was I went to Target and I bought Target. I bought a dry erase marker for $4. And what I did was I went to the bathroom mirror and I wrote down all the goals that I wanted to accomplish. So the week, the year, all that stuff, you know. Get it on paper, get it on the mirror. And, you know, hey, look, every time you get up, what's the first thing that you see when you go to the bathroom? Usually it's that mirror. Yeah. And you see that physically right in your face of the stuff that you need to do. And when you write down all those goals or all those stuff that you accomplish, you know, I have, you know, short-term goals, long-time goals, and lifetime goals. And I have all these different things, and I put it on the mirror. And every time that I accomplish something, not only do I get excited and share it in the forum at 2 in the damn morning, and everybody's like, dude, seriously, do you ever sleep? You know? But I cross that shit off. And it's stuff that I have accomplished. You know, we got another veteran a part of it. We call it the cartoon department now, you know, the captive animation, you know, and me and him are working on more cartoons. We're gonna have one coming out in January. We're gonna have one coming out right before the Christmas baskets that we give to veterans. And you know, if you want to participate, if you would like to help MBR, the number is 55. Okay, so that means if you want to give something to the basket and you're a nonprofit, send 55 beanies, send 55 covers, send 55 pairs of socks, send 55 pairs of underwear, you know, send 55 pairs of something. And, you know, you can help us provide these presents to these veterans as the Valor House in Lakewood, Colorado, that has given up their time with their family. They've given up time of their life to work on themselves, to go through classes, PTSD classes, learning education, you know, getting away from the addiction. Like these guys have literally gave up everything to be a part of this program. So that's what I try
this
to
is a good time. This is a really good time for our new moons right here. So listen to Joel, because this September new moon, it's time for renewal, balance, and planning fresh intentions. It marks the shift into harvest season, letting go of what no longer serves and sowing seeds for the month ahead. So listen to him because he's sowing those seeds.
Yep, and you know, and the biggest thing is, I'm telling you, it works. It really does work. Write down you just do the 3 categories: short time goals, long time goals, and lifetime goals.
Amen.
And just write down in it. And it can be far fetched. You can even put an NFL quarterback. Okay, probably not going to happen. Okay, but you can still put it there, right? And every time you accomplish the things, you cross it over and focus on that. That is your purpose. And I guarantee you that things will start looking up for you, especially if you're trying to empower other veterans. Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time. We're going to get out of here and go. I want to say thank you. We know you have a choice in who you listen to in the morning, and you decided to tune in with us. And I want to thank my beautiful co-host, too, who is constantly right there by my side all the time, almost always, especially when I get irritated. She can calm me down. I want to thank you for being here, MJ. I really do.
I
love
wouldn't
doing the
miss
show
it
with
unless
you.
I'm passing kidney stones.
Right, exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, every Thursday here at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, you've been listening to the show that shows all the veterans, all the first responders, all the programs out there beyond the VA. You've been listening to the Exchange Show right here on Military Broadcast Radio, where we're here for you, not for us. We're giving our veterans a voice.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.